Good morning, everyone. We are once again here for another market review in Nasdaq futures. Okay. This morning we had a kind of important news at 8:15 and 8:20, and we also have another news at 10 o'clock New York local time. So we are going to have a kind of overview over the price over here. So far we see the market. Okay, let's go to the 15-minute chart. Just a moment. I don't know why I cannot see the lines on 15-minute chart. Maybe something happened on the 15-minute chart. I don't know. Anyhow, we are going to trade new deals. Okay, the interesting point for me today is this swing low over here at 19,216 and quarter. This is the point of interest for me for sell side liquidity. On the upside, I don't see. Okay, we do have a relative equal highs over here, but so far we are very far from the buy side liquidity over here, and we have to consider that we are opening in a discount for this morning. The settlement price of yesterday was at 19,633. And yep. After that you have this, oh, sorry, let's make it a little thicker. Okay, now we are down over here and we have the sell side liquidity at 19,216. So far we are gravitating after 8:30 news. At this candle we gravitated lower and reached around this sell side liquidity on the daily chart, and have a little bit retracement to go probably inside this big CB formed on the 15-minute chart over here. Note that the settlement price is almost equal to the buy side liquidity over here, so we are expecting for the first 30 minutes a little run higher in the market, as we do have several new days opening up and new week opening up above the market price at this moment. This is the opening price of yesterday, so I can close this. Okay, we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to the opening bell for today's trading session in the New York. Okay, getting back to 5-minute chart, I would like to highlight this inefficiency over here. That is a 5-minute CB. This is point of interest to me because it is sitting right at the near the opening gap of last Friday. So I'm expecting the price comes back to this level and have a kind of reaction from this level over here. Note that we had a very nice delivery to Monday's low. I have to change the text over here. And after that we kind of shifted to go lower prices and started going higher. Getting back to 1-minute chart. Okay, in the 1-minute chart we see that we are trading inside this BC formed over here, and this is our breaker block. So 20 seconds to the opening bell. For the first run, I'm expecting the market, after touching this breaker block over here, this white candle, starts its run and going higher for reaching to this. Okay, now the market open. Where is the settlement? Okay, the settlement price is up here. And this is the opening at 301, and we had the settlement of 631. We have around 300 opening range gap, which is considerable and very large. So far we just traded 1 minute after opening bell and we went below the swing low over here. We left the relative equal highs at this point in the marketplace. Let's see if we have the potential to trade into this sell side liquidity in the daily chart first, and after that I expect to see a little run higher and clear the first buy side liquidity that is resting over here. Notice that so far we still didn't create any first presented fair value gap. This candle 930 is not considered as our first presented fair value gap, since the first candle that can create this sort of gap is the candle at 931. So we cannot consider this candle as a first presented fair value gap, because in the regular trading hours we do not see this candle at 929. So far, after disturbing the sell side liquidity, we didn't show any willingness to go lower prices for reaching the new week opening gap of 14th of April. And now we have a very huge gap for new week opening gap on 14th of April over here. We just need to sit tight and watch the market for the first presented fair value gap as our strategy. We touched again the opening range gap low, or the opening price at 930 over here, and we are very close to this buy side liquidity over here. Let's see. So far we still don't have any first presented fair value gap. And we are waiting in the market. Remember that we do have a news released at 10 o'clock this morning, so there is no rush to get into the position. The bodies of the candles right now are respecting this BC formed over here, but we cannot consider this fair value gap for our entry to go short or long. After 7 minutes of opening bell passed, still no fair first presented fair value gap. Below this sell side liquidity over here, we can see that we have these inefficiencies that are resting, and most likely the market is gravitating towards that. You can see in the 1 minute chart we tapped into the sell side liquidity I highlighted, and let's see. Yes, here we do have our first presented fair value gap. I set a short position over here with the target of 810 and risk of 400. Now just waiting for the market to see if it gets back to our first presented fair value gap. Notice the volume imbalance above the fair value gap, that we also include that in our price. So far the market didn't show any kind of retracement to fill to the first presented fair value gap to get our position filled. But anyway, we have to stay tuned and wait. This part of the market is completely acceptable since we are trading ahead of news at 10 o'clock, so we shouldn't act based on our emotions or excitedly to get into any position. In my opinion, they are priming the market for lower prices, and then with the news at 10 o'clock they will attack to this buy side liquidity over here and then trying to go higher for reaching this swing high at 8:30 news candle. So we just need to sit and see how the market is behaving. We have a sort of reaction from first presented fair value gap of last day in March. Okay, now we are trading in the consequent encroachment of the first presented fair value gap on 31st of March. In the 15-minute chart, you can see we have this kind of inefficiencies over here resting. After that, we have this new week opening gap, new day open gap, I apologize, that is unfilled. So seeing higher prices is apparently kind of not very possible for today's trading. Anyway, let's see how we are trading over here for today. The bodies of the candles were respecting the midpoint for this first presented fair value gap, and after that we have a sort of reaction to send price higher. Now what I would like to see is this run keeps going higher and creating a once again we tapped into the fair value gap. Now guys, I think it's better to cancel this over here, because that over there is very far from our market price at this moment, and it's not very rational. I was aiming to reach to this low over here, but the market didn't get any chance to go higher and fill our position. I like the way this candle's low is happening over here. I expect this to stay higher than this red candle's low. That didn't listen to me. Apparently the market today is not my friend. So far the candles are respecting this VC front over here. And now we are just consolidating before the macro time. If once again we tapped into this price over here, I would like to go for a long position. I can take a long. And my target will be here. With this one here. Okay, so far we are trading inside this 5-minute CD forming after 9:30. I'm highlighting it. We just tapped into that and fell short. Okay, now we are far from the position of my interest for going higher. We have a BC front over here that, in my opinion, should be acted as an inversion for this moment of the price, but let's see how it's acting, because the higher time frame PDRA is resting over here and we tapped into almost the sell side liquidity that I mentioned before. But let's see if we can go lower and use this as an inversion fair value gap. I'm setting a sell position over here. Just fell short of touching it. Okay, now we are in the trade for going short. Almost 20 handles in profit. I have placed my target right above the consequent encroachment of this first presented fair value gap over here. Now I'm just sitting still and look at the market, how it's behaving. So far everything is in my favor and nothing is wrong. Okay, we delivered 30 handles wrong and a little bit trying around here. I'm now watching at these volume imbalances over here, how the market is reacting. Because we have a news at 10 o'clock, I'm reducing my risk to this candle here, and I have no problem for getting out in this candle. So I just wanted to control my risk and not allowing the market to invite more harm in my bank, in my trading account on my carrier. So far, if we didn't trail our stop, it was quite safe because it once again we touched the inversion fair value gap over here, and now we dropped lower. The bodies of the candle are still respecting this volume imbalance over here, but right now I'm only waiting for the candle of news time at 10 o'clock. After that, I will decide for a new position. You see that if I wasn't trailing my stop loss right now, I was getting filled over here. But sometimes you don't know the market and these things happen in the marketplace. No worry at all. It does feel a little painful, not painful, but I'm feeling a little disappointed for acting foolishly, not foolishly exactly, but rushing in making a decision and doing it, trailing my stop loss down. But because this is a journey of me recording my emotions, my trading stuffs, and everything happens, I wanted to talk about this and say right now it's a little painful for me to see the market immediately delivered my target and my trade idea was completely correct, but I maybe rushed in changing my stop I have to just be patient now and not acting foolishly to get into any position, because this is not at the right time for me. I'm quite emotional now, and in 1 minute we do have a news, so the only thing we have to do is just waiting and waiting, nothing more. So far I can say that the opinion of this trade over here was perfectly applied, and it delivered within 4 or 5 minutes, but I was a little rushing to trail my stop loss in order to protect myself from the news candle. Anyhow, it's not a problem. Yeah, I'm here just to learn and experience these things for the time when I enter into the market. I have enough experiences. Okay, now we have the news here. Notice that so far we traded only lower prices from opening price, and this was kind of understandable thing. Now to me it makes more sense if we go above, and then here we use a kind of kind of breaker block as these candles over here to send price higher for this buy side liquidity over here. This is my trade opinion that I'm waiting for. I need these candles to get above this inversion fair value gap and use this fair value gap as a reclaimed fair value gap over here for sending price higher. Otherwise, this idea for visiting this buy side liquidity here on this location at 19,310 is not very probable. Look, I'm looking at this BC formed over here with the candle of news, this one, and let's see if it can be used to send price higher. Okay, the first candle respected the upper portion of the first fair value gap, and this candle is trading higher. Now I require this to trade above this orange fair value gap and come back to this and reclaim, use it as a reclaim fair value gap, reclaim BC to send price higher for this buy side liquidity over here. Once again, we tap into this fair value gap. We are trading around the consequent encouragement of the inversion fair value gap, and I'm expecting a closure above that when the market comes back and use this as a springboard for traveling higher prices. Very nice reaction from the consequent encouragement of this fair value gap, and tapping again once again into this BC. So far no rush for getting into any position. I already had a position and we got around, I guess, 200 profit here. So let's see. I'm just waiting for market to give me what I inquire from the market. I'm waiting for the market to go higher and see this buy side liquidity over here. If we close above this candle, okay, now I put a buy TradePie limit for this position and setting my target for going higher. Thank you. We traded into the 5-minute CB and closed below the consequent encouragement of that. So far, it didn't get filled again over here. Not a problem. I'm using this price over here as an entry for breaker. This white candle was my breaker entry, and let's see if this position is panning out in profit. The bodies of the candle are respecting this 5-minute fair value gap. Now we are trying to reach to the high of the new week opening gap for Monday, April 14th. Only 10 handles to get our target. Now I am placing this stop loss below this red line over here to cover the costs, because we are in NFP week and I don't want to lose anything. We are just, yeah, we tapped into our target and we got out of it for the second position. This was another awesome position for trading. We see the drawdown was only only 12 handles. And gives us the profit of 800 in 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. Yeah, now we touched the low of the first presented fair value gap. In my opinion, this can be also seen as another position for 20 handle runs, but to me, this is enough for trading today. I'm now just sitting here and watching the price to see how it delivers to this price or liquidity over here, because this is the target and the magnet for the price run. Now my focus is in this fair value gap here. In 1 minute chart, please see if it can support the price and send it higher. This itself, as I said, from this the first presented fair value gap after respecting the candles bodies in the lower half can be a model for trading from 260 to 235, which is around 25 handles. Note how the market is breaking through the first present fair value gap strongly. This is probably a reason for market to come back to this area later and use this as a springboard to deliver price to liquidity. At this point here, I would like to enter for long. Now I don't like this type of behavior around the price when we are above the first presented fair value gap. Okay, now we get back to the first presented fair value gap of today. There is a small portion of BC form around here below the sell side liquidity of Monday. We can see a very nice reaction after touching and closing this BC as well as the first presented fair value gap of last Thursday. Now we are traveling higher prices. I'm taking notes that if I was entering around here on this breaker and we were traveling all the way up to here, we only had to accept this 3 minutes over here and this 4 minutes over here as our kind of heave in our journey for delivering the price to this price at liquidity. Now we are touching the overlay of several first presented fair value gap of this Monday and previous Friday. I would like to have a kind of measurement with a tool of Fibonacci from low to the high of this opening range that is between 9:30 to 10 o'clock. And by doing this, okay, we can see there is a projection over here with the new day opening gap high from last Friday. The next 100 projection is at top of the candle for news at 8:30. So this can be my next target over here. We have a news candle over here, which is 100% off, 100% projection of the opening range. Maybe it's better to put it top. No, and the bottom is much better. Alright, now I can make this for more clarity. Just remember that, okay, now we have traded very close to this price of liquidity over here, and now the body of the candles are respecting first presented fair value gap from Monday. Now I am expecting, after touching this red candle over here with these two candles, I apologize. After touching this red candle over here, I am expecting to send the price higher within next 2 minutes, and I don't like to see this red candle over here is traded in the lower half. Boom! The price of liquidity has been tagged, and there we go. Yeah, I have to take a very nice screenshot from this price delivery that is absolutely perfect from this fair value gap that I highlighted over here, and I said look at the bodies of the candle, how it's reacting and how it's respecting this fair value gap that is made with the news candle over here. And after that I entered at the top of this breaker block, low, high, lower low, and this is my breaker block I entered over here, as you can see, at 19,209, and traded immediately higher to 19,250.50. We created another fair value gap over here. We traded into this, and this gives us another opportunity for going higher or adding to the position. And the final terminus was come over here, the buy side liquidity. If you want to keep the position still open and going higher, the next target will be this news candle's high at 8:30. That is also the projection level of the first projection level of the opening range highs and lows. Now I'm going to study this in a later time, but as a matter of fact, to notice it, and I wanted to highlight it and put it in the recordings. So right now we traded into this 5-minute series that I highlighted from here. That is almost around the 50% of this range if we measure. You can see this fair value gap is at the 50% of this range, and that's one thing I need to turn off these projections, and that's it. Okay, so far for today's trading, everything panned out as I was saying. From this fair value gap that I was expecting to get inverted, and I got out by rushing for trailing my stop. After that, you see it delivered exactly to the midpoint of this first presented fair value gap. That was my target. And then at 10 o'clock news, we created this fair value gap BC. I was watching it and see the reaction from this inversion fair value gap to it, and how the market was kind of accumulating over here for going higher. And look at the candles, even the wick of the candle are not trading into the consequent encouragement of this 1-minute BC. So we had a very nice reaction over here. Then we created the as I was saying, I was expecting the market goes above and creates this close above this fair value gap. I put a position order on top of this, but it didn't get filled, and I had to get into a position at the close price of this white candle, since this is my breaker block, low, high, lower, low, and this is my breaker block. Then I entered at this low. You can see the entry price at 19,209.5. The opening price, you have to look at this price over here, is the closing price, I'm sorry. You have to look at the price over here, 19,209.25, and mine was one tick above that in order to get filled, and I make sure that I'm in the position. So we traveled higher within 4 or 5 minutes. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Within 4 minutes, it delivered my target of $815. as I always set for covering the prices, and I got out over here. We had another chance for entering for going higher prices over here from this fair value gap, and you can see this fair value gap was used as a springboard when I was saying to send the price higher. If you miss this opportunity, also you could use the first presented fair value gap, as I write over here, going long when the candlesticks is touching the high of the first presented fair value gap of today, and we have around 16 handles drawdown over here if you were entering. After that, we had a very nice run towards the buy side liquidity I mentioned, and you can see after delivering to this 5-minute CB that I highlighted in the beginning of the live stream, we kind of turn over and traded lower. So I think this is enough for today's trading, and I'm very happy for my positions. For everything for today was perfect, and I cannot complain about this position that I got out, because this is part of the trading. I totally accept this. This is my journey. Even this was not a failure. I got out without any loss. Even the commissions are covered here. So I think this is enough for today, and all the best things for you is trading in a demo account, practicing, reading price, and just taking notes. This is the only thing I can say for you to do in order to make yourself strong enough and confident in price. So you understand that these things are already predictable. You can predict these things and act and react to this as you expect beforehand. I just want to show you the positions over here are not fake. You can see the prices, and these are all based on the live data in the market structures. And you can see over here we are in an open market, and this is not a replay. So till talk to you next time, stay safe and good trading. Goodbye.